Hello guys, and welcome to a brand new camera comparison between the brand new OnePlus 10R against the Samsung Galaxy A53. On the OnePlus 10R we are shooting at 1080p at 30 frames per second. That's because this is the maximum resolution this device can shoot. On the A53 on the other hand we are shooting at 4K at 30 frames per second. Tell me in the comment section below which one do you think has a better audio and which one has better colors and better stabilization. Starting with some samples from their main cameras, but first let me address the testing process. All of the daylight pictures were taken in auto mode without adjusting any of the settings. When we look at these pictures we can see that they take different approaches. The picture taken with the 10R is more realistic with more natural colors, while the one taken with the A53 is a lot more vibrant. This wasn't just a one-time scenario, since they were the same in most of the cases. Which one do you like? It is a matter of preference, but to me they are both very good. Dynamic range also seems to be very similar with both phones performing great. This just shows that in daylight even mid-range phones can deliver quality pictures. The larger sensor on the 10R however sometimes manages to produce better pictures. In this case, for example, it did focus on the flowers that were closer and it gave a nice shallow depth of field. The A53 on the other hand preferred to focus on the flowers that were further away. Both these devices have ultra-wide cameras, and here the 10R took a flat picture that looks too soft. The A53 on the other hand took a more saturated picture. None of them are actually doing as good as they were with their main cameras. Once again, in this case we have the same results just like before. The OnePlus 10R tends more to realistic images, while the A53 is definitely more vibrant. The ideal picture would be somewhere in between. I did however notice that sometimes the OnePlus picture is brighter and has more details compared to the A53. If you look closely to the forest you can see that the trees are more visible on this device compared to the Samsung. The A53 on the other hand seems to be doing better with lighter colors, because the clouds and the buildings retain the colors. On the 10R the clouds are kind of washed out, but this is to be expected since it has a lower quality camera. In this case here it is another example where the OnePlus 10R is kind of too flat and the Galaxy A53 is too saturated. Shadow areas are once again better handled on the 10R, but brighter areas are slightly overexposed. Both devices have macro cameras, and even though I usually skip these kind of pictures, here are some samples for the sake of informing you. None of them are actually doing great here, but the A53 is just so slightly sharper. Here is another example, and once again I prefer the picture taken with the A53, even though it isn't that good either. The picture taken with the 10R on the other hand, for me it is unusable, and this just shows how useless 2-megapixel macro cameras really are. When it comes to portrait shots, both these devices take them with their main cameras. The A53 is also assisted with a depth sensor, but truly speaking, it doesn't really do anything. I did prefer how she looks on the 10R more, since her face has more details. On the A53 the details of her face have kind of been lost, even though the blur looks more natural on that device. With their front cameras, in this first case I prefer the A53 since my face is more accurate. On the 10R my beard looks messy, and my eye colors are black, while in reality they are brown just like on the A53. In another example we have the same results just like before, with the A53 managing to preserve more details of my face. The dynamic range however is much better on the OnePlus 10R, since as you can see the clouds on the A53 are entirely washed out. In this next case the A53 is doing a better job with the clouds, and once again my face has more details and my beard color is more accurate. When recording videos with their main cameras, both these devices have great stabilization and good dynamic range. In terms of colors however, the 10R is cooler, while the A53 has warmer colors. When recording with their ultra-wide cameras, the 10R is actually more stable compared to the A53. Also, the greenery seems to be more visible, while they are kind of black on the A53. Moving to low light, and from now on every picture is taken with night mode enabled, besides the selfies taken with the OnePlus 10R, because it doesn't support night mode. As you can see from these results, the difference isn't really that big on my face. The background lights, however, are messed up on the 10R, while they are better preserved on the A53. Once again, the night mode on the A53 makes for a more pleasing image. My face is more detailed and the background is well preserved. With their main cameras, in this case, I think that the 10R is doing a better job since it has a sharper picture compared to the slightly blurry picture of the A53. When there are plenty of light sources, both these devices suffer from light flare, but they are much worse on the A53. The OnePlus 10R seems to be doing a better job, even though itself isn't that good. Once again, with night mode enabled, you can see that they both are very good, but the OnePlus 10R in my opinion managed to take a sharper and better picture. Overall, I would say that with their main cameras, both phones showed great results in daylight and in low light. They both have different implementations, and you can't go wrong with either of them. When it comes to their ultra-wide cameras, both devices fall down in quality. The difference with the main camera, however, is much more pronounced on the OnePlus 10R, and it even falls below the Galaxy A53. Neither of these phones do a great job with their ultra-wide cameras in low light, even though the A53 is slightly better, since some parts of this picture here are actually decent. The OnePlus 10R, as you can see here, is a lot worse compared to before. Its predecessor, the OnePlus 9RT, has a 16 megapixel ultra-wide camera, while they downgraded it to 8 megapixel with the 10R. Pictures taken with the ultra-wide camera of the 10R have a lot of noise and they are messed up, while the A53 on the other hand, even though it isn't as good either, sometimes it actually takes decent usable pictures. So guys, what do you think? Let me know your winner in the comment section below. And as per usual, if you did enjoy this video, consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.